Hello everyone, my name is Nadilia Gómez and I am the Chief Technology Officer for the Digital and Precision Ag Biosciences platform. That is a new role, not only for me, but also for the university. And every single day I'm working on that role, I'm reminded of my two childhood heroes, Kermit the Frog and Norman Borlaug. Kermit the Frog for me was the original empathetic leader, a little bit anxious, a little bit of a worrier, but trying to lead a whole bunch of talented individuals, the Muppets, to a shared goal. And Norman Borlaug, I really just wanted to be Norman Borlaug. He was the plant breeder that made the connection between developing plant varieties and solving world hunger. And I wanted to be a plant breeder. I wanted to grow a seed that I could plant overnight, feed 4 families the following day. Every single part of the seed would be edible. You get the idea. But I'm getting ahead of myself, so I have to start with the very beginning. I was born and raised in Panama, Central America, a densely populated modern city in the middle of the tropical rainforest. And my family appreciated curiosity, creativity, science, education, and that was really good because I was a very curious child, always asking questions. In fact, one of my first memories as a child was 4th grade science class. We were learning about unicellular organisms. Yay for dinoflagellates! And the teacher says, all right, are there any questions? And of course, I had nothing but questions. Up goes my hand and I ask my question. And the rest of my classmates, ugh. Of course, I was the only thing between them and recess. But my science teacher knew what to do. Dismissed the class, gave me a lot of books, and here I was just diving into science. And that was really important because science is all about asking questions, and practicing how to ask those questions is absolutely important. We don't come naturally designed to ask the right questions, so we have to practice how to do that. And there's experimental design that goes into it, and statistics, and all of this helps us uncover the mysteries of the natural world. Now, there are some questions that are very personal that cannot be answered with science. And I asked my dad, how do I choose a career? Guess what? He answered with 2 questions. What do you like to do? And what is a problem worth solving? I knew I was passionate about science, and there was no bigger problem than world hunger, Norman Borlaug. And so I decided to follow the steps of Norman Borlaug, traded my tropical home for the not so tropical home, and learned a lot of new things, but it was difficult. I left my family behind. In fact, a lot of my closest relatives died in that period of time as they aged. And that rubber ducky that sits on top of my computer, that was called the Stay Afloat Ducky. And it would move about the different tables of our office mates whenever we needed to take care of each other. It sat on my desk a lot, and it was very, very difficult. But there were also some encouraging moments. I actually got to meet Norman Borlaug, and I was part of the student delegate that would meet with him wherever he would come to visit the University of Minnesota. And we had really close conversations. At one time, he was telling me how he had never set out to be a Nobel Prize laureate. That wasn't even in the mindset. It was all about taking the next steps. First it was graduating, then it was finding a job so that he could sustain his growing family. Then it was taking that trip to Mexico to teach others how to grow plants. And so for me that was really influential because I thought I was just gonna step right into his footsteps. It wasn't that case. By the time I was ready to go into the workforce, the environment of agriculture had been transformed by digitization. All of us are carrying now in our hands or in our pockets a high computational device that is able to run tremendous analytics. That was not the case when Norman Borlaug started. And so for me, being able to step into that space meant figuring out what projects that I needed to work on. And that was very scary because there were a lot of infinite possibilities, and I worried that I would make the wrong choice. What if I went on that project when all these other 4 were the ones that were going to transform science? Well, luckily I stopped worrying about making the wrong choice, because in reality, many people in the past had tried to predict things. That's a clip from a newspaper in 1915 or something like that, and got it sometimes wrong, sometimes right, but it's not about being able to be right all the time. It's really about finding the relationships and the connections between people so that we are prepared in the future to address really big, complex, wicked problems. And that's what I did. I started to connect ag tech entrepreneurs with well-established ag industry leaders. And the idea was, we won't be able to figure out what's going to happen. We're only going to be able to prepare the next generation of entrepreneurs that can solve some of these problems. And for me, digital agriculture isn't only going to give us a solution for more high-yielding crops. It goes beyond that, because we have the data and the analytics that will help us unlock better mechanisms to take care of our planet. Maybe even understand some of the inequalities that are in food. And so in general, for me, working across these different spaces meant always being in an uncomfortable zone where I didn't know enough about anything. I was in agriculture, in technology, in business development, and it was that in-between ground where making those questions and asking the right questions was really important to get things connected. So it reminds me so much of that early stage where science was my superpower, and I really hope other people to find that opportunity to ask the questions, develop that scientific experience of resilience. I've kept on learning. Now I'm back in school hoping that business can be my next superpower, and every time I pass by the Jardine Business Building, I see this mural, and I am reminded that I belong, and that it is the diversity of ideas and backgrounds that will help us move forward, not only solving world hunger, but addressing some of the biggest challenges of humanity. Thank you.